my window right now, so sorry about the weird lighting we got going on in my messy bedroom, but man, we got a lot to celebrate. I just had to hop on here. Hopefully, y'all can hear me. Let me know in the comments if you're here. Again, throwing the jersey on because this is something to celebrate. This is something that we've been waiting for a heck of a long time. So hit that like, celebrate with me. We have Shilo Sanders officially committed here to the University of Colorado to round out what is a stacked secondary. I've been waiting to do this video for a while now, and it's finally here. And of course, being the showman that Shilo is, he had a really cool video where he's bringing that Louis luggage into Folsom Field, and he's wearing the all white Colorado uniform. So I'm hoping that we see those quite a bit this year. But man, I didn't do a lot of research on Shilo in the winter period or anything like that. And, I hadn't watched a lot of him, but now that we've been looking forward to his commitment for a while, I've had an opportunity to dive into him a little bit more. And man, like, I'm so excited for him because I think this is funny because I feel like both Shador and Shilo, it's like they both take on their father's characteristics so much, but they both do it so differently at the same time, which I think is so funny. But man, it's clear that Shilo, he's the guy that's going to be in here, I believe. Let me know if you think any differently. I believe that he's going to be in here starting week 1 against TCU. I mean, as a freshman starting for South Carolina, he had a killer year there in 2020. I think he had, this is going off just my memory of looking at his stats, but I think he had like 31 total tackles as a freshman, and 10 of those tackles happened in one game against nationally ranked Auburn, which was incredibly impressive. And then his full season that he played at Jackson State in 2021, he was an all-SWAC selection as well. 28 tackles, had 4 interceptions as well. And then, of course, coming back from his ACL, which was short, I believe it was about 6 months, but then came back for the second half of last year. And talking about pro comps, let's talk about that. He reminds me so much of TJ Ward. Y'all throw in the comments who he reminds you of because, I mean, he sets the tone of the defense with the energy and charisma that he plays with. Just like TJ Ward was so important to that 2015 Broncos team, he can really lay the wood. He's a hit stick. That's what he is. He's always laying guys out with these big time shoulder hits, but he also has good coverage skills and ball skills. Again, handful of interceptions. I think his last full year at Jackson State, he also had a few forced fumbles as well with those big hits. I'm sure some of y'all have seen the highlights, but man, this is a big deal for the secondary, and I'm just so happy that this is finally official because he's going to be a leader on this defense. He's going to bring the energy, the charisma. You can tell he plays with no fear. Everything that this coaching staff is trying to instill in this program, Shilo embodies. So thank you guys so much for coming in here, hanging out. Oh my gosh, we got 50 people in here already, man. Y'all hit that like. Y'all let me know who's here. I'm going to give a quick few shout outs to the people that are here right now. We got Aaron in the house, Cheryl C, Crystal Williams, Gearhead, CSM, HB, J-Dog. Good to see all of you. Thank you so much for hopping in. Again, let me know who your pro comps are for Shilo right now. This is so exciting. What's up, Nesimos, Coach Prime, Bryson Ray, Chris Alford. But I mean, overall, this is one thing that I did want to talk about here is I've seen some people tweet out his size. Shilo's not 185 pounds anymore. Like, he is on the Jackson State website, they had him listed at 6 feet. I'm going to close the blinds here. Hopefully that's a little bit better. 6 feet, 195 pounds. I bet now, again, he's still been training. outside of the team, but I mean, I bet that he's coming in here to start the season against CU at 6 foot, 6 foot and a half at 200 pounds. I mean, and it's clear that he is going to be laying the wood. He's going to be laying guys out, and I would expect. Let's just go through the secondary right now. Starting secondary. Let's start with the safety position. I mean, it's so deep. We got Roderick Ward, Travis Jay, Cameron Silman, Craig, Miles Slusher, Trevor Woods, Vito Tisdale, and then Jaden Milner-Jones. Man, this is a talented group now that you're adding Shilo in here as well. So going off of just the top of my head, man, I think Travis Jay and Shilo Sanders are going to be those guys taking the number one snaps, but it's clear that we're going to have a bunch of guys, rotating in here. I think Vito Tisdale might see some more time at corner than he does, or slot more time than he does at like traditional safety, but guys like Trevor Woods, Miles Slusher, Cameron Silman, Craig, Roderick Ward, I mean, that's going to be a competitive group, a talented rotation. This is going to be a lot of fun to watch. I would expect at this point, if you watch my videos from a few months ago, Jaden Milner-Jones is one of my favorite freshmen that we brought in. Played at a big-time high school in Texas, DeSoto, where Von Miller's from. If you follow the program for a little while, KD Nixon, who was a wide receiver here, went to DeSoto, as well as one of our higher draft picks as of recently, Laviska Shenault. Jaden Milner-Jones comes from a big-time high school program, coming off of a state championship, and a lot of those guys on that starting defense went big-time Power 5, and I mean, we're very excited to have him, but I would imagine that he probably redshirts this year. So, man, I'm so excited for this. And then let's take a look at the cornerback position as well. Of course, we got Omarion Cooper, Travis Hunter, Kendrick Breedlove, Jaquez Robinson, Travis Hunter, Cormani McClain, Carter Stoutmeyer. I mean, and y'all are sleeping on Carter Stoutmeyer because he is, he's killing it. He is a big time corner. He reminds me of, Antonio Cromartie. Oh man, yeah, man, this is gonna be a big time celebration. That's right, Coach Prime, man, I love you, man, but I'm putting you in timeout. This is our time to hang out and celebrate this. No trolling allowed. Cheryl C, I'm gonna go ahead and add you as a moderator. Yeah, we'll see how all this goes, but man, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm gonna go ahead and scroll up, try and catch up with y'all a little bit. But in terms of secondary, I'll get into this. I forgot to finish this. Starting cornerbacks, if we're going with the starting three, I think it's gonna be Travis Hunter, Cormani McClain, and then Omarion Cooper. Maybe that's kind of our big three rotation. And yeah, I just ask Cheryl C, thanks for stepping in here as a moderator. Yeah, if anybody is trolling or whatever, just put them in timeout, whatnot. So I'm going to scroll up here, try and find some different thoughts to point out. What's going on, Brazil? Chris Alford in the house. Thank you so much for coming in. Ghosting the game. Head Gang CEO, thank you for coming in. I appreciate that. John Davidson, man, Shiloh's going to be causing a lot of headaches this year for the opposing team. That's totally true. All right, y'all. So, yeah, let me know, who are your pro comps for Shilo? I want to know this. Oh my gosh, we got 100 people here in this celebration. Let's go. Let's hit that like again. Pop in the chat. I want to hear from all of you because, man, this is something that we've been waiting for 6 months on, and it's finally here. And this is something that we can't just look over because we've assumed that it's happened. If you've been following my channel, this is all about being in the moment, celebrating in the moment, like not taking this era for granted. This is this is a great day to be a Buff as always, and it's one that we need to celebrate here. What is going on, everyone, Spaceships, Andre Bradford's in the house, Jay Boogie, good to see y'all, JRNBS number 100. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, y'all. Yeah, throw in the chat what y'all are thinking. I'll try and answer some of your questions or commentate on y'all's commentary. But this is great. All right, CSM, HBJ Dog. I've got y'all going minimum 7-5 this year. And as I've said, that since Coach Prime was on campus, props to you, man, because again, I've talked about this before. I didn't really know what to expect when Coach Prime signed here in December because, again, we've had these academic restrictions that thankfully Coach Prime got lifted with coming here. The administration changed. And I'll add a few more moderators in here. I can trust Nesimos. I hope you're okay with that. But, I mean, y'all are all great. Yeah, we'll see how all this goes. But 7-5, man, at first I didn't really know what to think of that, but there are a lot of winnable games on this schedule. And yes, we are going up against 5 10-win teams on our schedule from this past year, but I mean, TCU, I think they've definitely taken a step back. I think that's one where the line, I think, is it 14.5 points or 21.5 points? It's just something crazy where, we're bringing in a lot of guys that are going to be able to play that have experience. And TCU, they've lost experience at some of their most, important positions. And like quarterback, like wide receiver. So y'all let me know what y'all think. I'm going to scroll down here. But I think a bowl game, man, it's definitely on the table. I think that 4.5 or 3.5 wins mark just looks foolish at this point. Not a gambling man, but I gotta put a bet on here just for the fun of it, for the channel. You know what I'm saying? Ghosting game. His pro comp is Earl Thomas. Man, I love that because he was an all-around complete safety. He could play the run. He could play up in the box. He could kind of be that like that center fielder that you would want someone to play deep and be solid in coverage and be that ball hawker. I think that's a great comp. Saeed Abdur Rahman, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. Man, this is awesome. Living life married. It's good to see you. I know you've been in here for a while. Cindy Jones. Man, a lot of familiar faces. Seize the Day. Shilo Party. Absolutely. Yeah, what are y'all expecting for the team this year? Who's next? What? We got like 5 or 6 spots? I want to know. Chris Alfred says, we got a lot of talent. That is absolutely right. I know we got the number 1 ranked transfer portal class this year on 24/7, and we'll see how they rate Shilo. He should be a 4-star transfer on 24/7. I feel that way. I think he was a 3-star coming out, but when you start at an SEC program as a freshman, a redshirt freshman, like, you are a big deal. And to get all SWAC honors coming into the SWAC, I mean, that speaks volumes, man. He's the Pac-12 offenses, most of them are going to have a real hard time with this defense. I'll tell you that. And, I mean, that Coach Prime and this coaching staff, they've scouted this conference because right now this is the conference of quarterbacks. And we have levels and levels and levels of talent at the secondary position that's going to cause some of these quarterbacks some real issues. Seize the Day says, when I heard Darius said they filmed the commitment video but couldn't drop it yet, I've been waiting. I've been watching his channel, waiting for it. Yeah, absolutely. This is something I was looking at. And again, if you saw my video, either it was this morning or maybe one earlier this week, I was like, maybe he'll just be the last commitment. Not the case. He's here ready to do it right now. Let's see. Saeed says the media is real quiet these days. Yeah, it's so funny because, oh man, it's because they're being proven wrong. They're being proven foolish. And man, like, let's continue to use our voices, whether it's here on YouTube or on Twitter, of just calling out all the ignorant hypocrites who want to criticize Coach Prime for staying within the rules and doing something to the best of his ability, but and going all out. No other coach would be called an egomaniac or selfish or egotistical, narcissistic, anything like that. Did you ever? Yeah, it's just ridiculous. It's so funny how Lincoln Riley was never called that. It's so funny how Lane Kiffin is never referred to as that. But of course, when Coach Prime is doing it, all the haters and hypocrites got to be put on blast. And this is what we're gonna celebrate. 119 people in here. Oh my God. This is crazy, y'all. Yeah, hit that like to celebrate. Let's get this pushed out to other Buffs fans and Prime fans. I'm probably behind on this chat a little bit, but I'm just getting into some of these comments. The wins will be Nebraska, CSU, Arizona, Arizona State, Washington State, Oregon State, Stanford, and I like us against TCU. Yes, yes. And we do have some of our tougher games also here, such as our game against USC. And we played them real close in 2019, and then I think we blew like a 15 or 20 point lead at halftime. Man, I'm trying to remember. I was at the game. But now we got a much more talented roster. And of course, they do as well. Caleb Williams going into his junior year, third year in Lincoln Riley's system, second year at USC. I know Utah's been the back-to-back champions this year, and they're bringing back their quarterback as well. But their tight end was drafted there in the first round, and they're going to be a tough out because that team is coached well. It's tough as nails. They're never doing crazy things in the recruiting area. They have done one of the best jobs at developing talent and their recruits in all of college football. They're going to be tough out, but I think USC is the team to beat going into this year for sure. And we're going to get that first win. That's what I'm hoping for. 1-16 against USC, baby. Crystal Williams says Shilo should be a 5-star. I'm not going to complain about that. Chris McRae, Bo Nix knows how Shilo hits. Absolutely. Man, yeah, again, against Auburn, he had 10 tackles as a safety against the Bo Nix-led Auburn Tigers. Go check out those highlights. Saeed in here is saying the show is rocking tonight. Absolutely, man. This has been one of the funnest live streams that I've done. Again, this is a party, and this is all about, man, like when we're cheering on the Buffs, when we're cheering for Coach Prime, man, we got to relish every moment of this because this type of stuff does not happen, throughout some people's lifetimes. And to have somebody like Coach Prime doing what he's doing, no one's ever done it before. And to have his sons on this team that are going to be cornerstones for this team, I mean, you gotta relish in this. You gotta cherish it. You can't just take it for granted and overlook it. I mean, again, so many Buffs fans. Last 20 years, we haven't had a ton to celebrate, and now it's like we have so much to celebrate every day. We've been able to find the silver linings and all these things to root for and cheer on and find good in these just miserable seasons. And now we have something to really cheer about. So yeah, let me know what y'all think in the comments. I'm gonna read through some more comments right now and keep hitting that like button. 137 strong? Are you kidding me? That's crazy. Okay. Angela, good to see you. She says, my prediction is a bowl game this year with at least 5 players, all Pac-12. Oh my God. I mean, who would that be? Shilo Sanders, Shilo, Travis Hunter. Who else y'all got? Round out those 3 for me. John Davison, defense wins games, and we have one of the strongest defenses in the Pac-12. Our D-line is the truth. Travis shuts down one side on the field, and now Shilo in the middle. OMG, yeah, like this is going to cause defenses headaches, and we got a lot of ball hawks, man. Like, we do. Again, Roderick Ward, that cannot be overlooked. Omarion Cooper cannot be overlooked. Jaquez Robinson, I mean, coming in here as a former 5-star. I mean, I'm lost for words sometimes. Let's see what everybody else is saying. Andre Bradford says Shilo will start and Slusher or Woods coming off the bench. No shame in that. Absolutely. And again, like football, it's the most physical sport in America. So we're going to have injuries. We're going to need that next man up. Like all these guys are going to get time. And with how fast this defense is playing, with how fast the offense is playing, and teams needing to catch up, I mean, man, there's opportunity for so many people to show out on both sides of the ball, put themselves on tape in front of everybody because our like the everybody, all the NFL scouts are going to be watching Colorado every game this year. No longer are we going to be relegated towards all these bad viewing times on TV and whatever we decide to do after the Pac-12 deal expires at the end of this season. We're going to be put in better position for viewership. I doubt we stay with the Pac-12 right now, but we'll see what happens. Maybe Rick George and Prime can work some magic and getting us into one of those two top conferences. But if not, man, we'll be slotted in those best slots, in my opinion, if we join the Big 12 as well. All right. Katina De Leon, correct me if I pronounced your name wrong, but man, she said the Shilo video was fire. It was so cool. It was definitely my favorite commitment video this year, and I loved it. I loved it. It was all, it was just a great personification, I guess, of his whole personality and what he brings to the table. I mean, how can't you love it, right? Jennifer, Big 21. Yeah, absolutely. I love that he wears his dad's number, and I would expect 21 to be Shiloh's for him to earn that as well, right? Gerald D. If the defense can hold that Caleb Williams in check, we will upset them. Absolutely. And what's also great, again, is no one has a book on this team right now. Like no other coaching staffs do. Because this is a new coaching staff with all brand new talent. And it's nice that we get USC week 5 right after Oregon, second conference game. Again, we're going to be able to throw some looks at them that they haven't seen yet, that we haven't put on tape. And we're going to be able to confuse them. Again, Charles Kelly, it's his first time here. He's been a defensive coordinator in the past for Florida State, right? Coming over from Alabama. We got Sean Lewis, a former head coach, coming over here from Kent State, but at the offensive coordinator position. But the other thing, that I'm hoping is that Sean Lewis, I know a lot of people, again, are talking about, well, this is how the system is, and, this is how we use the tight end, all of that. Well, I'm hoping that, he's got more talent than, he ever had at Kent State right now. And I'm hoping that he throws in some real new wrinkles based on what all we have. I don't know what those are. Again, I'm not paid, $2.5 million or whatever he's making to do that. But I'm sure that he's going to come up with some unique wrinkles that people didn't see at Kent State for sure. Seize the Day said, everyone saw Shilo commitment video and saw you were having a party and it's Saturday night. Yeah, we're excited. Yeah, I was about to go to the gym and then I'm like, nah, I'll do that later. I'll get on here. And man, again, this is all about, when you're with me, when you're with David Talks Buffs, it's all about celebrating the moment. It's appreciating everything that we have because things like this don't happen. So I don't ever want to take this whole thing for granted. Jeanette Fox is in the house. Says Shilo does not play corner. Absolutely. Did I accidentally say Shilo played corner? I didn't mean that. I probably was talking about or meant to talk about Vito Tisdale, how we'd probably see him play some corner as well. Carl Smith says all the coaches wish they were in Coach Prime's shoes. Absolutely. And that's why you see guys that we've never even heard about, Pat Narduzzi, chiming in because, just a total hypocrite. We all know that if he was in Coach Prime's shoes, he'd be doing the same thing. These guys are just all talk, man. And people are threatened that none of these other coaches like Pat Narduzzi can replicate anything about Coach Prime and what he's doing. Sean Camp says, David, what's going on, my man? Good to see ya. Good to hear from ya. This is a great day to celebrate. 150 people in here. Oh, my God. Let's get the likes up to 100, man, and put this out to other Buffs fans. Tony White says, "Did you hear about the Tennessee defensive tackle entering the transfer portal? His name is Dejon Terry." Absolutely. I know that Big Dog Chico retweeted something from a source that he contacted a former teammate at Tennessee talking about Terry and said that, man, he's a solid guy, incredibly hard worker, solid character. He's loved in the locker room. He'd be a big addition. And man, come over here, hang out with Amari McNeil again. Like we're still a little light at that defensive tackle, defensive line position. I mean, we're way better than where we were, 6 months ago, obviously. But I mean, more competition cannot hurt, and we got some dogs in there. Again, some guys that I'm really looking forward to. Leonard Payne Jr. Of course, Amari McNeil, having been in the SEC for a little bit. Chaz Wallace, Shane Cokes, like those guys I feel like are all going to be our main guys. We also got Tajay Alston coming here from West Virginia, Zach Blackwood. Was he a Division II guy or a JUCO guy? I'm trying to remember. But then one of my favorite transfers of this entire transfer class, Bishop Thomas. Box office Bishop Thomas. If you haven't seen my video breakdown on Bishop Thomas, go look at it after this. He has elite athleticism on this team. He is one of the best athletes that we have, and that's really saying something. Harold says, that is the most fire commitment video I've ever seen. Right? No one beat it. And it was so Shilo. That's what I loved about it. I swear TV, what's up, man? I'm also making you a moderator since I've seen you in here like all the time. So now we got all this set up, man. It's good to set up all this moderation stuff. Let's see who else is going. Happy holiday, Saeed. Let's see here. Spaceships on Bankhead. Hey, David Talks Buff. See you next up, my boy. Let's rock out. I appreciate you. I appreciate that so much. This is a good time to celebrate. Again, we're bringing a guy who hits like TJ Ward, who has been comped in this chat to Earl Thomas. He's definitely an NFL prospect. When I brought this up in a video a couple months ago, I'm like, y'all give me the breakdown on Shilo. I don't know what y'all are talking about, or like if he's expected to be in the NFL, and everybody just flooded my comments. They're saying, yes, David, he is. Y'all go check it out. So I love it. Like, I was so impressed with, again, the energy he plays with, the charisma. Like, he's not, again, he doesn't have the ball in his hands often, but he totally plays with that showtime, that prime time. And the way in which he plays, for lack of a better term, I mean, it's box office. It's something that not only is solid, but it's a lot of fun to watch. Like, those defenses that are just lighting people up, and it's a lot of fun to watch. I mean, I'm thinking about the old Seahawks defenses, those Jets, Mark Sanchez, like that defense was loaded. Of course, these Ravens, in the recent past and in the 2000s, I mean, with Ray Lewis and all of that, I mean, you could not. And then, I mean, how could I forget, our local Denver Broncos? But y'all know about that already. Jennifer says he's bulked up too. Absolutely. He's not. He's going to come in here playing at 200 pounds or over. And we've reached 100 likes. Oh my God, everybody. Thank you so much. Again, we're building something special here. We're on our way to 2,000 subscribers after doing this, 3.5 months? This is total insanity. And I still got other stuff coming up here. Eventually, I'll get a better setup than this crappy little pennant on my wall, but change comes in waves. Worked on that logo this week. The backdrop, it's going to be changing here at some point, too. Rachel Saunders just said Mathis. Mathis is one of my favorite walk-ons, definitely. Again, he runs a lot of these... can't even talk. But he runs a lot of these routes within the slot that Sean Lewis does really well. And you saw a little bit of that at the spring game. And it was cool to kind of see him play that Jimmy Horn role for everybody. And, he's a little small. And I got to admit, I have overlooked him because of his lack of size. But, man, in the spring game, I know they're going against the second string defense or whatever. That there's you got to take everything with a grain of salt. But any freshman that goes out there and performs, like, you got to give them their flowers. You got to give them their props. Like, I was very impressed with Caleb Mathis as well as Ryan Staub. Like, Ryan Staub's composure, I was very impressed with, especially Staub going at that number one defense. Saeed says Alt McCaskill. Man, this guy is he's our Eric Dickerson. Like, Adrian Peterson, a lot of us have talked about him in that way, man. Maybe kind of Cedric Benson-ish in some ways, but I think he's got a little bit more shiftiness than Cedric Benson, but he can do everything for you. He can block. He's a fantastic blocker. If you haven't seen my video on him, we take a look at his blocking as well. And that's somebody that Shilo Sanders is going to feel very comfortable behind in any down, in any situation, because he does have those hands. He can run a lot of those routes. He looks very comfortable running a lot of those running back routes out of the backfield. And, of course, he can run it outside. He can run it inside. He's got power moves. He's got shiftiness. He's a hard guy to bring down. And I know Sean Lewis doesn't work with like a traditional workhorse, but he profiles as a 3-down back. He profiles as a 3-down back in the NFL, and that's what he's going to become. Again, I'm not worried about this ACL at all. He's already over a year removed from it already. And again, CU, like, themes happen. These things occur over and over, but in 2020, our running back, Jarek Broussard, came back from 2 straight ACL tears and then won Offensive Player of the Year. It was a shortened season, so, that knee didn't really have to hold up a full workload in a normal season, but nonetheless, he was named Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Year that year, coming off of 2 torn ACLs. I have no concerns about Alt McCaskill and his injury history right now. All right, let's see here. Seize the day, talking about Jimmy Horn Jr. Like, he's another guy that could be all Pac-12 for sure. And I wouldn't be surprised if he leads the entire team this year in targets. Crystal Wise Williams says Shilo plays safety. Who knows? He might play other positions this year as well. Yes, I'm expecting Charles Kelly to give some really different versatile looks. I mean, again, within the secondary too, there's a lot of guys that you can use in different ways and with different looks. Andre Bradford, John Davidson, bro, Shilo will not play cornerback. All right. I Swear TV says, I like Roderick Ward in the nickel. He was all conference last year. Yes. In the WAC with 4 interceptions and 16 pass breakups. Thank you for pointing that out. He's a hard hitter just like Shilo. Yeah, he's a ball hawk. He's a big-time player. And the WAC, again, it's only been around for a few years now, again, after it was rebirthed. But that's a darn good FCS college football conference. A lot of those guys came from the Southwest or the Southland Conference, and they joined with some others, and it's going to be a very good conference at the FCS level. All right, getting through. No Sco Zone, thank you for chiming in. I appreciate you. Jaquez knows Coach Kelly's defense. He should emerge as a vocal leader on the defense. It's a great point. Again, so many transfers. It's always going over my head who has a relationship with who, but that's right. Jaquez coming over from Alabama, Charles Kelly being here was the primary reason why he's here. So yes, I think you're right. And Jaquez, if you haven't seen any of the interviews that like Folsom Frenzy podcast has done, or I believe that Colin from Life and Football has talked with him as well, go check out those videos. Jaquez has an loving guy, and again, this whole team, man, they're going to come in with this huge chip on their shoulder because they're at their second, third, some of them, their 4th pit stop, and everybody's going to have a collective chip on their shoulder, especially when you see the Vegas odds and all the hypocritical media criticism of what we're doing here. Like, again, people treat this like Coach Prime took over a team that went 5-7 last year. That's not true. this team's really going to show out. It's all good vibes, which is so fun. But they're going to have, they're going to have a tenacity to them, but they're going to have fun proving everybody wrong. Whoops. All right, I'm going to go here for probably like 5 more minutes or so. Let's see. Man, I'm really behind here. I apologize, y'all. But I Swear TV says Big 12 got both Fox and ESPN. They will be big, absolutely. Like I've said a couple weeks ago, I think if the money is around the same, it's more important to Colorado right now to ensure that maximum exposure. And based on all the information that we have, it's definitely not going to be the Pac-12 providing the most exposure for CU right now. Thank goodness we have a somewhat decent television deal, right now with ESPN and Fox. But again, this is the last year of it, and you can thank Larry Scott for this whole mess, because I don't care if Jesus Christ came in here as commissioner of the Pac-12 after they were able to fire Larry Scott. USC and UCLA were leaving no matter what. It doesn't matter how talented George Kliavkoff could be in a normal commissioner's role. He was really put in an impossible situation because of Larry Scott. And I can get into that later, but it's not his fault. It's Larry Scott. And that man made off with a lot of money for being absolutely terrible at his job. Sad thing. But hey, new days are ahead. Coach Prime's here, and we're going to be fine in the new era of college football because of him. I Swear says, love how Shilo had the outfit on the ground like Prime did, like father, like son. Thank you for pointing that out. Yes, it's so good. All right, 168 people in here, 116 likes. Man, let's go, let's go. Keep hitting that like, and maybe we can get to 169. Nice. All right, Jeanette Fox, he's Prime 2.0, but much more aggressive, and he's got jokes. He's hilarious. If you're coming to visit in Boulder, or just really live around here, next time you're in Boulder, he's got the Shilo Bowl over at Whole Soul at the 28th Street Mall. So y'all go check that out. There's also a Whole Soul Acai Bowl. I guess it's like a fast casual restaurant. They do smoothie bowls and stuff like that. They also got one in downtown Pearl Street. It's one of my favorite places to eat when I'm in Boulder, so check it out. Again, they got a lot of that healthy food and stuff like that, but also good tacos. Good tacos. Shale C says the Instagram page, listen to this one, has a camera on Jaquez Robinson all day. They're showing little clips of his day. Man, I love that. You know how I was talking about a couple weeks ago, how I just wish that there was just more vlogs of these athletes out there. I'll be sure to follow. Excuse me. Let's see what we're getting in here. Some more questions to comment on. Saeed says, Derek McClendon is no joke. I saw his viral workout video. I haven't seen it, but man, I'm expecting him to be one of the starting edges here. Most definitely. Like that edge group, Jordan Dominic and Derek McClendon being those starters. Jeremiah Brown, I think, is it was weird. I saw some people in here from Jackson State, or maybe that were like other HBCU team fans. Y'all can correct me on this, and I'll scroll down to the most recent chats here so I can get this answer. But they were like hating on Jeremiah Brown in one of my videos, and I mean, I thought that he was a pretty productive player for JSU, and I would expect him to be one of the better edge rushers, linebackers here at CU. Definitely within that top rotation. So I want to know your thoughts on that. But again, the other guy I'm super interested in is Savell Smalls. I mean, just like Bishop Thomas, he brings here to CU like an elite athleticism on this team. He's going to be one of the best athletes. 128 likes. Oh my gosh. Triple L, thank you so much for this. But yeah, Lawrence Sangster says Jeremiah Brown's going to play outside linebacker. Yeah, okay. Celeste M. Sharper says JB is an awesome player. Yeah. I would assume that he's going to be a leader on this defense, and he's going to be very productive. I don't know where I mean, I know that there's probably a lot of JSU, opposition because of just how fast they ran up that entire conference in such a quick amount of time. Yeah, but I would expect Jeremiah Brown, this edge group, man, this linebacker group, I'm extremely excited for. There's not a position group outside of tight end that like I'm not worried about going into this year. Like I know that we have the talent there. The question is like how quickly can we get everybody on the same page? Can we get everybody to gel and all of that? And I think we're going to have a good home record, definitely. But how are we going to play together on the road? All of those things. But man, that 3.5, 4.5 win total, nah. Let's see here. 132 likes again, man. I appreciate y'all. John Davidson says, I'm a JSU grad and I love Jeremiah Brown and others who followed like Prime. Man, it's so exciting to see some of those guys come over here. And I mean, I just can't wait for especially the guys coming here from the FCS level, the G5 level. There's a handful of them. The guys that couldn't get time at these other schools. I mean, they just got so much, unwarranted hate and criticism, I feel. And I mean, they're all going to show out, and, we're going to be able to look back at these videos and see like how all these seeds were planted, the stuff that led to the success. Because again, we got to remember, man, this isn't just about this year. This is about sowing the seeds for a national title, for Deion Sanders to be the first black head coach to win the national championship of college football. Like that's what this whole thing is all about, and he's going to do it with Colorado taking over the worst Power 5 college football team. JSU definitely would have beaten CU last year. And I got a super chat. Oh, Prime Sports Media. Great to see you. Peace to you. This is great news. Man, that super chat is so kind. Thank you so much. Hey, guys, if y'all aren't following Prime Sports Media, man, oh man, are you missing out on one of the best YouTubers associated with Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes. He is extremely intelligent, and the way he produces these videos, it is top notch. It like, me, I'm just getting on here. I kind of give you a little bit different of a feel because y'all see how goofy I am. Y'all can probably see now how differently I behave when I'm on my Adderall versus not. I mean, it's so funny, but I mean, Prime Sports Media, man, the production is second to none. The way in which he lays out his content, his speeches, his point, extremely methodical, and he will go through and cut up the different timestamps for the different points that he makes throughout videos. He honestly, like, he deserves. I mean, I think he might still be under the subscriber base that I have, like in terms of numbers. This man needs like 5 times that. He should be at 10K. He should be one of the most popular guys that we know about in this space. So please go give him a follow if you haven't yet. Again, this is all about elevating the real voices, elevating the people that actually know their shit, like elevating the people that just aren't talking here for clicks, elevating the people that actually watch the sport, that have played the sport, that understand the sport. And Prime Sports Media is the pure example of that. So y'all be sure to follow him. Also, yeah, I mean, I've talked about this too. I never played football. I mean, just look at me, man. I'm like 6'2", 165 pounds, 170 pounds. So, but hey, I'm here to give one take, and that's what's so great about these other guys like Prime Sports Media. We're talking about life in football. We're talking about Big Dog Chico. Man, and y'all throw some more in the chat. Like, let's get this going. But your $5 is greatly appreciated, Prime Sports Media. You didn't have to do that, and that just goes to show the type of person that you are. Oh, man. you guys are awesome. I'm just catching up a little bit here. Lawrence Sangster, my goodness, we're gonna shock the college football world. Yeah, nobody is. No, no, all these casuals, they're not ready for what's to happen, man. It's so funny. And again, living here in Colorado, you guys got to understand the Mountain Time Zone. I love the Mountain Time Zone as a fan. It makes it so easy to watch sports all day. It's a problem that I got, but it is an issue when you're talking about these coastal media companies. The Mountain Time Zone is just a dead zone. And just like the Denver Nuggets, how none of these guys the last 3 years have been watching Jokic until this last series against the LA Lakers. They've missed out on so many good storylines. And that's exactly what's going and what has been happening here with Colorado. People don't pay attention to the middle of the country. Again, Denver is the biggest city in the entire Mountain Time Zone. I think Salt Lake City is the next in line, but it's not a very populated time zone if you're looking at the entire country, the entire map, and that's why these programs get and these teams get overlooked so often. But we've been following every day. We know the types of guys that he's bringing in here. We know that nobody else could be doing the job that Coach Prime is doing. And I would be as bold to say that not even Kirby Smart or Nick Saban could be doing this type of turnaround this early in the game. So yeah, I just got to say that. Thank you for all the love, Prime Sports Media, man. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you. Oh, Suave Al, what's up, man? Good to see you. It's been a while since I've seen you. Travis just posted a new DB training video. My goodness, I'll have to check that out. Saeed says, Prime Sports Media, I'm waiting for your commitment video on Shilo. Yeah, y'all be sure to subscribe to him and turn those post notifications on so you know when he's posting. Suave Al says, these casual bums are trying to push their desperate hopes of us to lose 9 games and go 3-9, but it ain't going to happen. We're going to win 8+, man. And I'm telling you, man, like, again, like as a Colorado sports fan, like we're used to this BS. Like we are used to, once we prove the haters wrong, the media just turns it back on us and somehow makes it our fault. Like this whole thing with the Nuggets, like, hey, y'all aren't entertaining enough, or what are we supposed to do? You know what? You know what you're supposed to do? Do your job and watch these teams. But yeah, all these people are just going to be backtracking, or like that first big upset that happens, whether that's TCU or Nebraska. The storyline is just going to be all about how Coach Prime was lucky and all this sorts of stuff, unless we put a beating on them, and they're not going to be able to shut up if that's the case. No Scozone says, yeah, they're upset because the new guy came in and changed the game. Absolutely. Again, like I have pointed out on this channel, college sports is it's a mirror of our society. And I'm not going out calling everybody racist or anything like that, but we're ignorant to assume that race does not play a factor in some of the hate that this program gets and that Coach Prime gets. Again, there are a lot of coaches, as we've seen with this, Pitt head coach clown that Prime Sports Media did a really good video on. But again, these guys are jealous. They're hypocrites, and it's so funny that they try to find the smallest little thing out of Coach Prime's character to try and exploit and make him look bad, egotistical, selfish, while all their other good old boys, these white head coaches within the SEC and big time Power 5 college football that have real scandal, for some reason they're just excused. The level of excuse that they have, and what I'm hoping for is, yes, we're going to expose all the hypocrites, but also us together as a fan base, as sports fans, we can learn and grow to just be consistent rather than just hypocrites with these biases. All right. Saeed says the pit coach should mind his business. Yeah, I think it's hilarious too, and I like pretty much like 99% of all press in CU's favor is good press, and I welcome it. If all these coaches want to run their mouth and they want to talk about Coach Prime doing this, doing that. He's got the Amazon documentary. He's telling these kids to leave and hurting their feelings and all that. Man, if y'all want to talk a big game, then put us on the schedule. Like, if you really feel like you're standing up for the good character and the love of the game and the pureness of college football and all that BS that they actually don't believe in, put us on the schedule. Put your money where your mouth is. But none of these guys actually want the smoke. They just want to talk smoke. No Sco Zone, David get a plate at the cookout. Man, you're hilarious. We got to do a David Talks Buffs tailgate this fall, man. I gotta put an event together. Wouldn't that just be so funny? Yeah, don't mind all the laundry in the background. Um, let's see here. Suave Al says Narduzzi's just mad he will never get these real dogs to pit. He's mad and how salty how Lincoln Riley took his best player last year. Yeah, and that's the name of the game. And like again, if you're not thinking that all of these big time Power Five conferences or teams within these conferences aren't they're not, how do I say it? They're not tampering. You're completely out of your mind. They are offering these guys NIL deals before they even enter the transfer portal. And that is the case for some of these big dogs that end up transferring from one big school to USC to these other programs. That is definitely a thing, and that is the reality of college sports. That is the reality. I don't see anything wrong with it because you should be recruiting players that get your vision, and that they should be compensated to their value. But man, a player's got to do. Jordan Addison, he's got to do what he's got to do. If he's going to make life-changing money, he should go do it. And I'm never going to blame a player for going to a program like USC when long-term money's on the line, and I'm hoping that our NIL program can get there as well. But Coach Prime is bringing in these guys that they understand the vision. They understand that it's more than just instant gratification, and some of these college football coaches can instill that, because you know why? Like Coach Prime can say he's been in these guys' shoes, and this is how you get there. This is how you get to the next level. Like, forget the instant gratification. No other coach can speak to these guys like Coach Prime can. Team Ace. Why didn't Narduzzi sign those CU players from the portal? I mean, he said he was worried about their moms, dads, brothers, and sisters. Yeah, man. I mean, this guy... all these guys just try and act like they're the toughest football guys out there, and they're they're against this soft generation, but then you just see them going out there crying like snowflakes. I love it. Again, we got to call out the hypocrites. Yeah, they're just mad Coach Prime's got that sauce. You're definitely right, Katina. Suave Al says, I just can't wait until we smash TCU and then try and move the goalpost. I bet they will say the refs was paid off or some other BS. Well, it's going to be hilarious. But you know what the first talking point's going to be, man? Like, it's going to be, Coach Prime moved into the worst Power 5 conference. That's absolutely going to be the talk of the town, even though they had the third most ranked teams out of the Power 5 conferences last year at the end of the year. Saeed says, I would love to see a Golden Jacket Club section at Folsom Field. And man, let's send out the energy. Let's pray to the football gods. Like, it's time for Ed Reed. It's time for Warren Sapp. It's time for all the other Hall of Famers to come here. Like, let's just make this the Gold Jacket Coaching Club. I mean, no one will be able to recruit when we got everybody doing that. Um, let's see here. Calvin says, "Get at me, David Talks Buffs. You have a number I can call. Thanks." Yeah. You can always hit me up on Twitter at David Talks Buffs. Love to hear from all of you. L. All right, I'm gonna try my best with this. LDWDUBU. I'm just gonna spell it out like that. The Buffs will have a real conditioning advantage in high altitude and will also benefit from playing low altitudes. They'll win the majority of home games. Yeah, people forget, like, I mean, in LeBron James being at 38 is still one of the best conditioned athletes in the NBA, and you could see how gassed he was in these games. And man, it's true. It's why every team here in Denver, in Boulder, like, when we're good, we play fast. It's why the Nuggets always play fast, baby. It's why when the Broncos got a good offense going, like, they're playing fast. Like, that's how we do things. When we were here in the national conversation before I was born, they were playing fast. Like, they were playing smash mouth ball, but they were also playing fast with that whole option offense. Like, that's hard to read. It's just fast, and I love that Coach Prime is building both the offense and defense. And what is totally overlooked and not talked about enough is how fire these special teams are going to be. Am I right? A first time. Oh wait, Uncle Kai, good to see you. Thanks for chiming in. A first-time head coach got one shot. After that, he's stuck. I probably missed what you meant by that, but feel free to clarify. My brain's all over the place. Seize the Day says there will be all kinds of excuses when CU starts crushing teams like Sticks. Yeah, man. And again, like, these are talented guys, and a lot of people are forgetting, like, it's not just Coach Prime that's here. Like, this coaching staff is going to be a huge upgrade from top to bottom with where we were last year. Now, I will say, again, I'm going to give you my straight up honest opinion. Special teams, I think will be fire, but their spring game performance was absolutely unacceptable. And thank God a lot of those guys are out of there now, so I'm hoping that they can get that right come the fall. But that was an embarrassment. That was the only problem that I had with the spring game. Is like, these guys should not be doing that. Suave Al says, I got so many Clowns bookmarks saying we will go 3-9. I got too many Nebraska fans bookmarked. Man, are you still Suave Al on Twitter? Man, I got to look at who my followers are. Katina De Leon, just subscribe to your channel. This made my Saturday. Can't wait to come to a CU game. Keep up the good work. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Like, we're having so much fun here. And again, like, when you're with my channel, you get everything from kind of a local perspective here. I'm like 15 minutes from campus. I went to graduate school at CU, got my MBA, and I'm just doing this in my free time. I think we're almost 150 videos in, and there's a lot of great YouTubers out here that do this a lot better than I do. And I'm hoping that we can all just kind of grow together and grow this platform together. And this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. Let's see. Yeah, I swear, says, man, that special teams line sucked. They had linemen falling on the ground, blocking outside instead of down the line. Yeah, it was inexcusable. It was inexcusable. It's like, did you even know what you're doing out there? Can you imagine what's going to look when coach releases those dogs on defense for TCU, man? Yeah, Lawrence, you're right. In that TCU game, man, it's going to, oh my gosh. It's going to be a great environment. And, those TCU fans, that they're going to get up for it. And I love the Hitmo toad or frog thing that they got going on at the stadium. I love it. Sports Prime Media, let me know what game you're planning to go to. Because, again, like right now, one of my best friends is a USC Trojan, so he's coming in town that weekend. We're going to go to the game. Colin from Life and Football will be at that game as well. But if you come in for another game, man, just let me know. Maybe I'll snag some tickets as well, or at least just be there to tailgate, and we'll have a good time. The Pitt head coach, VHF, good to see you, took over a pretty good team that's been to several bowl games, so he didn't have to replace many players. He also did not have the transfer portal when he took over at Pitt. Yeah, he couldn't flip over the entire roster like this. That's for darn sure. Um, what do you think about the linebacker group, Jeremel Mack? The linebacker group, man, the edge group, like I feel good about, like at the top. Again, Jordan Dominic, Derek McClendon, um, and Jeremiah Brown, I think, are going to be the top guys. Now, I mean, we're bringing in a lot of guys with some speed, such as Kari or Kyrie Mans. Again, somebody tell me how to correctly pronounce his name, because I've seen it different all over the place. And DV Harris especially. But man, I got high hopes for Savell Smalls. I think that he can find his game again. But Tajay McCoy, he's another solid guy coming in here. I think Adam Munster-Tiger called him his most underrated recruit this year out of the high school class. And we got J.J. Watkins, Arden Walker, SEC bodies that are ready to show out for the first time. It's Kyrie Mans. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. Yeah, just let me know, Prime Sports Media. I think we follow each other on Twitter, so you can just let me know. And but let's talk about inside linebacker. I mean, this one I feel like it's a little bit more up in the air. Brandon Gant, Demoy Kennedy, Levante Bentley, I mean, are probably going to be those guys that make up that starting group or that main rotation. But two guys that I really like, or three rather, I really like the inside linebackers that they brought in. Victory Johnson, he's a big guy. I think he's already 250 pounds or so as a freshman. Morgan Pearson, he's one of my favorite. He played wide receiver, tight end, safety, linebacker in Oklahoma. Just an all-around great athlete. He returned punts and kicks as well. And, I wouldn't be surprised if Morgan Pearson is in that starting rotation come the end of the year. I want it. Let's see here. And I went way longer than expected, but let's see here. Jeanette Fox is not his style. He won't respond until the season starts, or maybe not at all. Oh, you're talking about Coach Prime. No Sco Zone says Levante Bentley will have a breakout season at linebacker. Man, I'm hoping so, because again, just like Florida State, we've had some guys come over here from Florida State. Clemson's defense is good, and they got a lot of solid linebackers over there. And just because Levante Bentley couldn't find consistent time there doesn't mean that he's not a starting caliber player in Power 5 college football. So, all right, y'all. Well, I said I was going for 5 minutes about 30 minutes ago. But that's just how this goes when we're having a party. Again, we're on our way to 2,000 subscribers, which is a huge goal for me. And, we'll just see what happens next. Again, we got to cherish every moment with this. This is once in a lifetime type of stuff. And, Deion Sanders, Coach Prime is going to be the first black head coach to win a national championship in college football. And we're seeing the seeds being planted in that right now. So thank you for following along with me. Again, would appreciate it if you hit that like, share this, subscribe if you haven't. And for those of you who are interested in NBA and basketball talk, I am going to be opening up my basketball channel later this week called Let's Talk Hoops. And my friend Nick is going to be joining that. So I'll let you know when that gets going. It's going to be a little bit different of a format. You'll probably see a little bit different of a side of me on that channel to some extent. But overall, I appreciate all of you, and we're going to continue, to have a party with this channel. So blessings. Y'all have a great, long, extended weekend. Happy Memorial Day. Thank you, everybody who has served, for your service. And as always, Sco Buffs.